Now to the topic of immigration. Customs, Border and Protection have released the number of undocumented immigrants apprehended for the month of May. Take a look at these numbers. Nearly 12,000 unaccompanied children were apprehended at the southwest border, a 31.7% increase compared to April. Nearly 89,000 family units were apprehended, a 42.2% increase from April. The agency says these numbers exceed any other month since at least 2014. After today's fatal crash, many of you took to social media to tell us about what you think, what's on your mind. Here's what some of you said to us. Take a look at this. We wanted to hear from you, okay? And this is what we got. Very sad. These are part of the crisis. This does not need to happen if people want to come here. Another one, prayers for all, but this wouldn't happen if you obeyed the laws. We wanted to hear from the legal community and the people who deal with illegal, or not say illegal, but undocumented aliens who deal with immigration issues and refugee issues on a daily basis. With me right now is Carrie Thompson, an immigration attorney with RAICES, the local Refugee and Immigration Center. Thank you so much for being with us today, Carrie.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I want to get your thoughts on what happened today.
Well, you know, I think we always know some of the facts, right? So, I mean, we do know that there was a number of individuals who died. It appears that many of them were undocumented and who were coming into this country. And so, a loss of life for anybody obviously is really tragic. We work with the immigrant community daily. We work with the community, legal, undocumented, intimately on a daily basis, including new arrivals, including individuals who come seeking asylum and protection. And so knowing the reasons that people come to this country and the push factors in their own countries,
Sure.
Extreme poverty, violence, it's a tragedy to me that individuals have to make the decision to remain or risk their lives. And so whether it's a car accident or they're lost in the brush in South Texas, it's a tragedy to me that in this country we don't have a humanitarian, just way, especially with this administration, to hear these calls for protection, and that we're not, as what we're seeing with these increased numbers is that there's a real issue and there's real push factors. And so in a time where we should be opening our doors, we're closing them.
Well, which brings up the issue that many of the folks brought up in our conversation as they reacted to our social media, is it's time for immigration reform, but there are many factors and many facets to immigration reform. What part are you concerned with, obviously?
Well, I think especially in light of today, because when we look at immigration, we see sort of different categories within immigration. When we see people dying in possibly a high-speed chase or an accident, or we see people dying in the brush, that's specifically dealing with people who are making a very recent entry and who are desperate to come into this country. And to make that type of decision, you have to be fleeing from something very intense. And so so one facet is, right now, our country does allow for individuals to make claims of asylum or fear. But what we're seeing with this administration is that we're closing the pathways. We're closing, people are coming to ports of entry to make these claims. They're being turned away. And so what's happening is there are no legal pathways. So that's one element. And then, of course, we also want to address the millions who have been here in the country, who have families, who have children, who have been engaged, amazing citizens for all intents and purposes, but because of the ways our immigration laws are written, they cannot get legal status.
Carrie Thompson, this is a very, very big topic, one that we could discuss for hours on end. Carrie Thompson, RAICES, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Still to come, a look at what we're